All right, welcome back, and this is the Coaches Show, and we finally got some of these internet issues. I think the people that are here are all using the internet, because sometimes this place is like crowded up to the max, and the tiki bars loaded up. Now, Mike, we've got to bring you in, because you went to school with this one guy, and I don't know what your rule is about trash talking of your high school team, but you're going to have to nicely say, what kind of a young man were you growing up?
This is the easiest way to explain it. And I've told my players the same thing. I never started it, but the minute you opened your mouth, I was going to ruin your day.
Now, what are you, about 6'8" or something?
No, I'm only 6'4". I played point guard at college. I was one of the smallest guys on my team.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was good. I was good until somebody started it. I didn't start out running my mouth. I was very good, but the minute you started it, I was on you. So, and I tell my players the same thing. I mean, we're pretty good with them. We don't have anybody we don't have any mouthy or trash talkers or mumblies.
We don't have that.
Now, what kind of rule do you have as a head coach?
I don't like it.
Yeah, in other words, you don't like it, but if Mike gets on the floor, you kick him off?
Well, no, here's the funny thing, though. Me and Mike talk about this all the time. Back when me and Mike played, that's just how you played, and that's how that's how your coaches were, and that's how they were in you all the time. They were up in you, and
they were in your face.
They were in your face.
Yeah.
Now things have changed a little bit now these days, and you don't see a lot of that much anymore. So it was a kind of a different time, just a different way. The way kids are, they're just different than they were when we were that way. So that's sort of where I chalk it up to. I don't particularly care for people doing things like this stuff and doing. I'm not big on all that. I just like to get down, get the ball, and go back and do it to them again. That sort of speaks louder for itself. But people got different ways of doing it. Coaches like kids do different things. I tend to be a little more conservative when it comes to that kind of stuff. I just want to win the game. I need all the other stuff.
Now, if people look at your record, like say if they go to Max Preps or whatever, they're going to say, well, wait a minute, they might be on the short end of the stick. However, that is not going to be indicative of what may happen in the playoffs because you play up. In other words, you're not afraid to play tough opponents, and actually you look forward to that because it actually helps your team. And Wheatley does very much the same thing, and I believe Peacock does that with football. Faulkner does that with baseball because it makes the teams better, and that's why you guys win what you do.
Well, I can show you right now probably 6 or 7 teams in the area who have records that are much better than ours. But then when you did a little investigation and you've seen who they played and what they did and stuff like that, I don't think it matches up to anything that we have done. I can go down the list from Dunbar High School to Lehigh to Riverdale to Charlotte to Bartow. I can name them. I mean, there's some perennial. Lehigh's been in the Final Four like 3 out of the last 5 years, and Riverdale was there last year, and Bartow's in there every year, and Charlotte's had a really good program this year. They're really good. So we just try to play the best that we can play, and then, like I said, we schedule those little break weeks in there where we have a couple games that we could probably get, just to kind of keep some momentum going here or there. It's hard to do it night in and night out and get your brains beat in all the time like that, but every once in a while you got to do it. We've hung in with the best from the City of Palms all the way to, Charlotte High School. We were in that game for 3 quarters. So, it is what it is, and you have to go play them. If you want to get better, you got to go play them. I could set up a 25 games. That wouldn't mean anything to anybody. It wouldn't help us come the first week or 2 in February. But, so it just depends on how you look at it. I don't do it because other people do it. I just do it because I just think it's the right way to go, and I just think it helps you in the long run. It just helps you get better. It helps you get better. To be better, you got to play the best.
Venice Coaches Show live from Pop Sunset Grill, and they sponsor this show, as well as McKenzie Construction, McKenzie of Florida, and we've had Scott Huber on here, and we're going to be on the Diggers.
Listen to me. I had it in my mind. So Scott's going to set us up, and we're going to go to that place we were talking about on Honore and 681, and Mike's coming too.
It's going to be at an unknown time, folks.
And an unknown location too as well.
We used to give away the location.
But we're gonna. But Scott's gonna be nice enough to let us get in one of those big old play toys of his, those $1 million babies, and just start digging some big fat holes. So it's gonna be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And he says we're going to keep you away from the main traffic, but he's got a lot of dirt out there. He says you guys can move dirt, you can dig holes, you can do whatever you want.
I just told him it would be one of my it would be a bucket list thing to just start plowing away at some dirt and on the.
Now what we're going to do, and we'll put this on YouTube and Remotes Are Me, so you're going to watch this. We're actually going to videotape the coach climbing up into the cab,
for sure,
figuring out what button starts this thing,
for sure,
and he's going to be doing some of this stuff. And it'll be interesting to watch him do this and try and run one of those big boys. I'm going to try and get up there as well. Mike Montgomery, I think you're going to try and
Mike's
get up there.
Too.
Yeah,
Mike's coming too. Listen. He told us that. What was he saying? Those things are over $1 million a piece. Some of those machines he got. It's just amazing. I'm looking forward to just going up there.
And Scott's the nicest guy.
Yes, he's a great guy. He's a great supporter of our program. You know, his son's in the program. He's just an all-around good guy. You know, they're fostering kids at their house. He's just an all-around good dude. You know, we're just lucky to have him again, part of our program. One of those people that you need to have around. To be successful, you need folks like Scott to be around.
Absolutely. Okay, coming up here, we've got. You've got Port Charlotte tomorrow night. We cannot forget that. That's a Tuesday night.
Yep.
Any other games this week that people can drive to and watch?
We have Port Charlotte tomorrow night, which is a big game for us. And then Thursday, we're going to be at Sarasota Military Academy. That's an up-and-coming program up there that they've been trying to grow that thing up there. And then after that, we're home. You know, we're home next week against Oasis and Lemon Bay. So I mean, we're winding it down. We're getting down to the end here. It's amazing that me and him have been doing this. We've been going at this since May. We haven't stopped. So I mean, we're getting down to the end. So we're looking forward to just finishing this thing up on the right note. Tomorrow night's the night, though. Tomorrow night's for me is a big night for us.
Big one.
Yeah, for sure. If we can get that tomorrow night, we'll be in good shape. We'll look good towards the end. So we're hoping to get
a week from tomorrow, which is the 28th. It's a doubleheader. Both senior teams, I should not say senior, but both varsity teams of girls and boys will be playing at the teepee. The time is actually going to be 6 o'clock and 7:30. Even though it says 5:30 and 7, it will be a 6 and 7:30 time slot that will broadcast both of those games. And then we'll have Lemon Bay that Friday night. That's a week from Friday, and that's going to be your senior night. And then on the 7th, that's kind of a question mark. Maybe it may not happen. We're putting it on there right now, but that might not happen. However, if you do subscribe and hit the bell, if we do that, you'll be notified.
Yeah, we're still working on it. We have a couple of iffies there. I thought I had it firmed up a little better, but it didn't work out. We still have one open date that I would love to fill, and I would love to fill it at a home game. But regardless of what happens there, we got a nice game at the end of the year, last game of the season against Riverview at home. That's going to be a packed house. The place will be ram-packed, and should be a lot of fun that last Friday night.
I tell you what, there was a packed one, not the Imagine game. What was the one?
Northport.
Northport was in there, and Ryan Power's crew, and I have my little spot there, and it's kind of cordoned off with some crepe paper and all. But I'll tell you, the place was rocking.
Yeah, it was, and that was a nice overtime win for us in that game. And by the way, I got to shout out to Ryan Powers. I hope he's listening. Then he went and had another overtime game the following night. They won that game. And then yesterday, he came back and beat Evangelical Christian at the on Saturday. Beat Evangelical Christian, which is a big win. That's a big win for his program, and I'm proud of him, man. It's pretty cool. He's been getting the brains beat in too, and it's nice for him to get that win. That's a good lick for him.
And all of you guys, you have your up years, you have your down years, and then you graduate seniors, and it's rebuilding. And the big challenge is to keep the momentum going even during a rebuilding type of a year. And it might look rebuilding in maybe in August, but by the time you guys get going, and Mike, you know what that's about, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, even with this year's team, just seeing what we had coming up off of the JV, and watching those kids come. We started like John said in the springtime and started working out
and you knew Marino was coming back.
We had Vince coming back. We had Christian coming back. We had Connor coming back. Had Tristan coming back. But, I mean, really, you had, two of those are the only ones that really had varsity experience. So.
Tristan, let's talk about him for just a minute. Then, Coach, I'm good. I have noticed within these last 5 games or 4, actually since the holidays,
Okay.
that his defense, he's upped his game on that. He's not afraid to get under the board and start banging a little bit.
Yep.
He's willing to get the offensive boards and get a second look and a third look.
Yep.
And that is fun to watch as a fan. And I think the other people are, have you done anything different to him in practice to challenge him to get in there?
So I would say mostly just because we're trying to get the kids to compete every day. And when we're competing, it's against each other, and people are fighting for playing spots, and it's a very aggressive practice, and I think that helps us with the games. And we've worked with Tristan on some of his fundamentals around the basket, which makes him more aggressive to go get the ball to be able to put it back in. So I think that's been one of the reasons.
Yeah.
He's looking more to go get it now.
And not being afraid to be physical.
Yeah, and he's going and getting the ball. He's not, a lot of times we tend to rely on Mal going and getting a rebound, and Tristan's kind of taking it on himself to get in and get in the mix and start getting his own, which is great.
The thing with Tristan, too, is that one of the issues he's had is about balance. It's about him balancing his body and catching the way he's supposed to catch. And he's getting better at that. Every day it gets a little better. He's finishing around the basket better now.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's, in the beginning of the year, he was missing a lot of those easy chip shots. And, now he's starting to put them in. Mike picked up a little thing on it. He was kind of looking away a little bit when he was going to get contact, and we kind of got his eyes focused more on the rim now. He's made everything Saturday, made everything pretty much.
Yeah.
So he's a great kid to work with because he listens to what you're saying, he applies it, and he tries to do the best he can to do it. I want to get back to your senior question, though. It is a great question, and we talk about it once in a while. When you're talking about graduating 16, 17 kids in a 2-year period, that's a lot of turnover. We graduated 8 and then 7 last year. That's a lot of people. This year we're only going to have 4, which is helpful. But we that's hard. And Ryan is another example. He's going through that now. He graduated 10 last year, and that's a lot of seniors to have.
Yes.
My goal is to try to change that up, where we always have a couple of sophomores in the system that, as long as they can play, to have them so you can continue to have those 3-year guys, and you're not graduating 9 or 10 guys at one time. It just decimates your program. I mean, and that's what I mean. You're starting
because you only have
again.
15 on the team.
Well, you don't even have 15. Most of them only have 12. I mean, you can 15 is the max, but we only carry 12 guys. I mean, I think we have 13. You always have to have an extra one hurt, so we carry 12. So if you're graduating 8, you got to fill 8 spots.
That's half your team.
There's not a lot of 8 spots filled on your JV team. So you have to,
and then JV scrambling to find guys to put on their team.
Exactly. It's just so we graduated 15 or 16 in the last 2 years. That's a lot of kids to graduate, and that's a lot of kids to kind of continue to keep going. But now we had the real good team 2 years ago. When we had Javon Hiley and Reese Jakowiak and those guys like that, we made a nice run that year. And then all 9 of those were gone, and then we did it again last year, again with 8 last year. So. Listen, you have a lot of seniors when you can't get their banners fit up on the wall. Mike's helps us with the banner. He's trying to figure out. So Ryan's going through that, and I take my hat off to him because it's a lot of work. To get a few wins. Listen, people don't realize how hard it is to win.
Let me tell you something. Those banners, and when you walk into the teepee, folks, and you look to the right and you look to the left, and on the wall is a picture of the senior student. And it is a full, I want to say full length, but it's at least 6 foot long.
For sure.
And opposing teams, I watch them come in and they look up and they see the seniors of the basketball team, and they see the seniors of the girls basketball team. Off to one side, and they see the wrestling team. If it's volleyball, they see the seniors of and that impresses the heck out of that other team. They go, wow, we've got to face these guys.
Well, as coaches, we say this all the time. There's a lot of good things going on at Venice High School. There's a lot of good things in the sports programs. These kids get well taken care of. They get well coached. We give them every single thing we can try to give them. And all we do is come up, just show up and play. Just show up and play and be there every day. Play as hard as you can. Learn as whatever you can. And I think, it's paid off for volleyball. It's certainly paid off for baseball. And I just think we try to do the best we can.
And it's starting to pay off for basketball.
It's starting to. We want to make it. We want to make it a great place to play. And along with that, all you got to do is come and play. We ask you just 100% effort all the time, you get that most of the time, and that's what we're kind of hoping for.
We will be back here next week again. Pop Sunset Grill, join us, and there's some people here that love their burgers, and so they watch and and they were over here a little bit during our little break time, and they said we cannot miss a burger because it's cooked and it's got that wood flavor in there. It's fantastic. Come on down. You can, and while Mike was talking, he even had a couple of people there off camera, and they were kind of getting in his face, trying to make him nervous, and but that did not happen. But anyways, though, come on down, and we just got to let you know that coming up on March the 16th will be our annual Coaches Roundtable right here at Pops. At least we think so. We got to check with the people here at Pops. And that'll be Monday the 16th from 4 to 6. It'll be a 2-hour, and that's going to preview March Madness. And March Madness will begin the following day on that Tuesday. That's the 14 play-in.
St. Patrick's Day it starts to play.
And then on Thursday of that week is when everything starts. All 64 teams start on March Madness then. And so come on down here. Make sure you ask a question of the coaches, because there'll be 2 in addition to John, and John's going to ask. You have an idea who you want to ask.
We know for sure. I mean, they'll be in. I mean, Sean Huber, Lemon Bay, and Ryan Powers in Northport will be here, like we've done in the years and last year for sure. Hopefully, to make this a yearly event. And we had a lot of fun last year. It'll be a lot more fun here at this place. It's a great place to have that kind of. The weather will be nicer.
We'll have to keep Sean away from the tiki bar.
Keep Sean away from those frozen drinks for sure.
He likes the ones with the little umbrellas.
He does. He's definitely he's an umbrella guy for sure. For sure. But I mean, it's just good friends, and it's a lot of fun, and we enjoy. We got Montgomery in on it too. Maybe get him over here. Get him in here and come sit with us.
All right, some upcoming games next Tuesday. We'll have a coaches show next Monday, but next Tuesday we got the doubleheader of both varsity teams. Girls at 6 and the boys at 7:30. I know what the artwork says.
I just checked it too. It's 6 and 7:30.
Yeah.
And so that'll be that. And then the Friday of that week, which will be the end, will be Lemon Bay and Venice, and Lemon Bay will be in the teepee. It's senior night, and you will not only honor the seniors of Venice, but you'll give a rose.
No, we don't normally
to the Lemon Bay guys.
We don't normally do that. We'll just recognize them either individually or as a group. We don't really give them anything.
And then Friday the 7th is on the calendar, but may be removed, and that is one that.
Well, Friday, the Friday's the 7th game against Riverview, so that's a lock. That game's locked. So it's
so it is on the calendar.
Yeah, but it's the Tuesday we were talking about. The Tuesday is the one that has the open date to it.
I did not put that one on there.
Yeah. Tuesday's the date we've been working on. That Friday game is locked.
So the Friday the 7th is a lock.
Yeah, that's a lock.
And that's a pack the house type of thing.
Right, that's the last game, and that's the last game of the season.
All right. And then once again, subscribe. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and then when we go live, you'll be notified when you go live, and or when we go live, rather. And internet issues, we just never know, because it just depends on how many people flock to it, and we try and get it as correctable as possible. We've got the high-speed internet with the data, and we subscribe to that, but yet you just never know. A final thought, Mike.
Final thought is looking forward to tomorrow night. I think the boys are ready to play. I think that they've put some hard work in, and tomorrow night's going to be exciting for us. And
that's at Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte, but I think
and known as the Cave.
Yeah.
That's for sure. What a good call.
Definitely a dark place, but I think that I think the boys are excited. I think we're excited. I think it's one we can get, which we haven't gotten in a long time, and we have the ability to do it. We just got to go out and perform. So
for sure.
It's gonna come down tomorrow night and see what happens.
Okay, John, a final thought from you.
Well, first I'd like to thank Mike for coming in tonight. It's always good to have him. And I think, for us personally, tomorrow night's a good game. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's a big game because we need to beat we need to show that we can beat a quality team and get over that hurdle instead of coming up an overtime loss or losing by 2. We need to get over the hump. And by the way, personally for me, it would be the first win against Port Charlotte in a very long time at Venice High School.
And it is very much in the realm of possibility. This is not like, it's not going to happen. No, this can happen, and you've got the players.
We do. We absolutely do.
Any mix of players. I mean, we've seen Miser come up. We've seen Schrader, and Schrader's not hitting people like a football player anymore, and that's a good thing. We've seen Platt. He's starting to step up his game. Your son, Connor, he was popping the threes the other night.
Yeah. We need everything we can get from him. Every little bit that he can contribute really helps us, and I think it's one of those roles. Just do your role.
Yep.
Whoever that person is, just do your role and do it at the best of your ability, and then hopefully 8 or 9 roles together gets us gets us home, and that's what it's going to be. And like I said, our first game against Port Charlotte was a really good game down in the wire. We lost by 4. So we made some mistakes. We missed some shots. I was looking at the game today on tape, but we're ready to go. We're ready, excited. We're ready to get down to it. Like I said, we're getting down to the end. There's no more. We have time to do this or time to that. We're still getting down to the nitty-gritty.
As they say, to the nubs.
Yeah, we're getting down. We're getting down there, and we just need to get, just put it as good as, put it together as best as possible and get the job done. We just need to prove to ourselves that we can get over the hump, and that's what we need to do tomorrow.
Assistant coach Mike Montgomery here with us, head coach John Flynn. We're going to be back here again next week at 6 o'clock. Join us down here at Pop Sunset Grill for another Coaches Show.